Oh, shit. Sorry, guys. Oh, nobody's here. Ooh, look at the chemtrails. Sky full of them today. Isn't that funny? Disgusting, actually.
Breaking into a home, body camera footage,
Malaria.
and
That's
brutalizing
Cleveland.
an innocent homeowner. It doesn't sound like protecting and serving to me, and this comes out of Elyria, Ohio. Check this out.
Controversial arrest caught on camera. Police barge into a man's home without his permission and without a warrant.
Tonight, that man is telling us what it was like to live through such a chaotic ordeal. 19 investigator Mike Mason has this exclusive report.
Raul Ortiz says he'll never be the same after 3 Elyria police officers stormed into his home.
One minute I'm happy, next minute I'm sad, next minute I'm crying. I hear a loud noise, I get freaked out.
19 Investigates obtained body cam video from May 11th of last year. That's when 3 officers met with Ortiz's ex-girlfriend, Brittany Warner. She told them she had broken up with Ortiz and he wouldn't let her back into the home.
I just want my things and I want to get out.
Officers arrive at the home, but Ortiz refuses to let them in without a warrant.
So all I did was say, hey, I don't choose to talk to you then. If I'm not in trouble with you, and you ain't got a warrant for me, then I'm going to say I'm not being involved.
Officer Paige Mitchell is then heard telling Warner she...
And no warrant shall issue but on probable cause, of what? Probable cause that a crime has been committed. They have no idea if there's a crime that's been committed or not. So if they went to the judge to get a warrant, they would likely not even get it, but they don't care. They're going to go to the guy's house anyway, and they're going to instruct this woman who doesn't even live there anymore, according to the person who owns the house, and they're going to instruct her to kick in the door, and then they're going to help her in her criminal activity.
has the right to break in.
Anything, any door can be kicked in depending on how hard you work on it.
So Warner kicks the door in as officers go in behind.
Instructing an individual to commit a crime, and then when the individual commits the crime, i.e. kicks in the door, let's look at it again.
So
they videotape it with their government-issued, taxpayer-funded body cams. That's the world we live in. God.
Warner kicks the door in as officers go in behind her.
She was very aggressive.
Ortiz is heard struggling with the 2 officers. A window shatters. In the reports, police wrote Raul's body slammed into Officer Lewis, nearly causing him to fall out. However, Ortiz remembers it differently.
I actually grabbed the cop trying to pull him back, letting him know that I'm not trying to fight you guys, but I'm not going to put my hands behind my back because I have a medical condition.
Mitchell then walks up the stairs and tases Ortiz.
Right now!
This guy has a pacemaker. They don't care about your health. They don't care about your safety. They just want you to submit. Submit to the authority. You're under governmental control, boy. We don't care if it's in your house. This is our house now. We lay down the rules. Could have killed him.
Mitchell's taser, then drops it. He's then hauled off to jail. Charged with multiple felonies, including aggravated robbery for grabbing Mitchell's taser.
Grabs the taser in self-defense, and they call it aggravated robbery when the act was committed, the criminal act was committed in that man's home by the perpetrators, who just so happen to be wearing costumes.
Use it on this is my defibrillator right here. No, absolutely not. I would never do something like that because I know I would never win.
They didn't do a proper investigation. Period.
Ortiz's attorney, Anthony Nisi, worked as a cop for decades. He says officers had no right even entering the house. Plus, if they had contacted the homeowner, he would have told them Warner had already moved out.
That day, yes, she handed us the keys and she left.
And she was out of the apartment.
Out of the house, yes.
Nisi also questions officers' claims that Ortiz could be heard threatening them when they entered the home.
If you listen to the video very closely, it's different from what the report says.
Why would I want to say something like that knowing there's cops downstairs? That's the most stupidest thing a person can do.
Ortiz potentially faced years in prison if convicted, but his attorney got the charges dropped. Now they both want to see these officers brought to justice.
The court gives them the power just because they got a badge to think they can do whatever they want. Even them. I want reprimand. I want officers put in jail. I want them to experience what I experienced.
Exactly, because brought to justice does not mean paid administrative leave. It doesn't mean losing your job. It doesn't even mean losing your certification. It means you get to go to jail like we would go to jail if we kicked in somebody's door.
You should know the officers involved were not charged with a crime or even disciplined for this incident. According to the EPD, the body cam footage we showed you is the only one they have because the other two officers' videos weren't saved due to an oversight.
They weren't saved due to an oversight. Anybody buying that?
He now plans to file a federal lawsuit against the department.
No disciplinary action for any of the cops breaking into an American's home on American soil in violation, direct violation of the Fourth Amendment. Here's another same thing.
Here, so if you want to kick the door in and go and get your stuff, you're more than welcome to. Anything, any door can be kicked in depending on how hard you work on it.
They have no right to even go up there and grab them and arrest them and cuff them.
Nope.
Now at 6, a controversial arrest caught on camera. Police barge into a man's home without his permission and without a warrant. Which begs the question, did police cross the line? Good evening, thanks for joining us.
They walk into a man's house without permission and without a warrant, and it begs the question, did they do anything wrong? You've got to be kidding me. Why do we even have a Fourth Amendment? Hey, just break into anybody's house anytime you want for any kind of reason. You don't even need to come up with a reason. Just get 12 of your best armed dudes and break in the door and start shooting if you want to. Go ahead. Who cares? It's not America anymore.
I'm Brian Duffy.
Tiffany Tucker, this all started when an officer told the man's ex-girlfriend that she could kick down his door.
19 investigator Mike Mason has the exclusive on-camera video. Watch it for yourself. You decide.
Raul Ortiz is still reeling from the day Elyria police officers stormed into his home without a warrant. By the time it was over, he'd be tased, arrested, and charged with 5 felonies. 19 Investigates obtained this police body cam footage from May 11th of last year. It shows officers meeting up with Ortiz's ex-girlfriend, Brittany Warner. She moved out of Ortiz's home after they broke up. In the video, Warner tells officers she needs help getting back into the house to get some belongings because Ortiz wouldn't let her in.
We can go over and see if he'll cooperate with us there.
Follow you guys over there, okay? Okay.
When officers arrive at his home, he refuses to let.
We can go over there to see if he'll cooperate. And if he doesn't cooperate, we get to put our gloves on. We get to get our tasers out. We get to kick in some doors.
At the Mint.
Do you have a key to the house?
He took my key.
He took my key.
Officer Paige Mitchell then tells Warner she has the right to enter the home, even suggesting she kick in the door.
You've lived here, so if you want to kick the door in and go and get your stuff, you're more than welcome to. Anything, any door can be kicked in, depending on how hard you work on it.
Officer Paige Mitchell. Officer Paige Mitchell should be in jail right now.
So Warner kicks the door in as officers Colty Hirsch and Chris Lewis follow her upstairs. Hirsch can be seen pulling out his gun. Later,
Unbelievable.
Ortiz can be heard struggling with officers. A window shatters. Mitchell tases Ortiz as he tells officers about his heart condition. Trying to get them to stop, Ortiz grabs the taser and quickly drops it. Minutes later, things calm down.
Let's go, now!
Ortiz's mother
You
tries to...
He calls the homeowner an idiot as he stands in the homeowner's house after they let the lady kick down his door. God.
intervene
My son, I understand. Calm down, please.
as he's cuffed and taken away. Ortiz is then slapped with multiple charges, including assaulting a police officer and aggravated robbery for grabbing Mitchell's taser. His mother's also charged with obstruction for stepping in.
They had no right to even go up there and grab him and arrest him and cuff him.
Ortiz's attorney, Anthony Nisi, worked as a police officer for decades.
Why they did it, I can't answer that.
The EPD says video from the other two officers was never saved. So Nisi compared body cam footage with what officers wrote in their reports and says it didn't match up. Then he filed a motion to dismiss the charges, and the case was dropped.
Of course.
Nisi wants all three officers held accountable.
Yep.
Single person who kicked the door. We can't. What do you think? They broke the law.
These officers were not charged with a crime. The union rep was standing behind them. Elyria Police Chief.
Their union rep is standing behind them because the union rep is as corrupt as they are.
Who say the body cam footage. The other two officers wasn't saved due to an oversight. The officers' personnel files show they were not disciplined for this incident. Tomorrow.
Oops, we have a little oversight. So, what I'll do is, under this video in the description and in the pinned comment, I will put a link to the Elyria Police Department over there in Ohio. It looks like people are already commenting. This one right here said, looks like they are erasing comments, by the way. This person says, breaking, entering, assault, and kidnapping of citizens seems to be your thing. Remember when you threw a flashbang into a baby's crib? You all are something else. Yeah, well, what they are is criminal. I will leave that link. Comment if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell notification icon. Give it a thumbs up. Share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. If you want to support the channel further, grab a shirt, become a channel member, but more importantly, know what your rights are and exercise your rights. If we don't exercise our rights, we will lose them. I'll see you in the next video.
I get nobody in this channel? paying people off.
She possibly could.
Yep.
And as comprehensive as she possibly could. Congratulations.
Yes.
He told Trooper Proctor that you could, quote, hear Karen Reed continually state, "Is he dead?" as the paramedics treated the victim. Officer Seraph then see Karen inside her frenzy. Right?
Correct.
So the only statement you attributed to my client the day after this incident was, there's 3 words, "Is he dead?" She continued to repeat it. Is that right? Yes. Yeah, Coach?
Yes.
And the 2 times that you were asked to reflect back on exactly what happened that morning, on January 29th and January 30th, both times you attributed only 3 words to my client having been repeated continually in her distraught state. "Is he dead?" Right?
Yes.
She wasn't saying that calmly. So, in fact, you used the word she was severely distraught. Is that right?
That's correct.
When you say severely distraught, you saw part of that on your dash cam is emotional,
Yes.
upset,
Yes.
pissed on John,
Yes.
trying to save his life,
Yes.
and asked him, what was the question that she asked him?
Is he dead?
Over and over and over. Correct?
Right.
Then you were asked to testify in April of 2022, April 14th, 2022, at a state-run grand jury by the company.
Yes.
In fact, Mr. Lally was the fine prosecutor who was asking you questions, correct?
Yes.
Between the time you wrote the report on January 29th, you gave a statement officially on January 30th. Between that time and when you testified in April 2022, do you have any meetings with anybody from the Massachusetts State Police?
No.
Do you have any meetings with Mr. Lally?
No.
Mr. Lally put you on the stand without talking to you first?
No. For this trial?
Nope. I'm just, the dates in question are up to April 14th, 2022, at grand jury.
I don't recall.
You don't recall if you met with either Mr. Lally or any of his contemporaries to discuss your potential testimony?
Not with, I don't recall meeting with him for that. One time I met with him in his office was a couple of weeks ago with this.
In preparation for this testimony?
Correct.
But your testimony now, he didn't meet with you, or you did not connect with him to discuss your testimony before the April grand jury?
I don't recall.
When you did testify in that grand jury, you changed your story.
No.
You believe you testified consistently at that grand jury as you had in your report?
I testified for what I remember what happened, sir.
Is your memory better in April than it was minutes or hours after the event?
Is it better?
Is it better or worse?
I don't know.
Do you think your memory gets better as time goes on?
Not usually, no.
No. Usually it's the opposite, isn't it?
Yes.
And where you get foggy, you fade.
Yes.
Which is why you write reports the day of the incident, if you can, correct?
Yes.
Do you remember what you testified to at the grand jury in April of 2022?
The whole thing?
No, I'm sorry. That was a bad question on my part. Just as it relates to statements attributed to my client.
Yes.
What was your exact testimony in April of 2022?
I'd have to look at that.
Would it refresh your recollection if you saw a copy of your
Sure.
grand jury transcript?
Yes.
Page 18. Let me know once you remember it, and once you review that, tell me if that refreshes your recollection.
Yes, it does.
In fact, on April 14, 2022, months after this event, for the first time you said, quote, and these are your words, tell me if I get it right. She, you know, this is my fault. I don't know. She said, you know, I can't believe this happened. I mean, she kept asking if he was going to die, if he's dead. And, you know, I just basically said, you know, we're doing the best that we can. And
that's correct.
Yes.
So in April of 2022, for the first time, you attributed the phrase, "This is my fault. I can't believe this happened," to my client, correct?
That's correct.
Nowhere in your official report did you say that.
That's correct.
And nowhere in your interview with Proctor the next day did you say that.
That's correct.
I think that was a pretty important omission on your part.
It was an oversight.
An oversight.
Yes, sir.
That a woman who you made contact with, standing over the body of a fallen police officer, said to you, "This is my fault." Just missed that. Yes.
Yes. We might have done.
And then, of course, you testified yesterday. And your statement changed again, right?
I don't know.
Remember what you said yesterday? It's yours?
I don't know. Word for word?
Well, I wrote it down. Let's see if this helps. Yesterday you said, my client said, quote, "It's all my fault. I did this." End quote.
Yes.
Remember that? That yes?
Yes, sir.
You didn't say that at the grand jury, and you didn't say that to Trooper Proctor,
No, sir.
and you didn't put it in your report.
That's correct.
You were to testify in another 2 or 3 weeks, and your statement would just keep you home.
Objection. Sustained.
Now I'm going to shift gears for a second and talk about what Ms. Reed actually said that morning. You said that you reviewed your dash cam video, correct?
Once.
Do you remember when you arrived, one of the first things out of your mouth was the question, what happened?
Yes.
That would be a natural question.
Sure.
Right? You assess the scene and assess the situation.
So,
You want to listen closely to what that answer was, correct?
sure.
Ms. Reed did, in fact, answer, didn't she?
I don't recall what you said.
She said, quote, "My boyfriend, I left him and he never came home." Unquote. Right?
I don't know.
You agree, we've already agreed, that details matter in any investigation.
Absolutely.
They certainly matter in this investigation, right?
Yes, sir.
I'd like you to take a look at what's been pre-marked as Exhibit 26.
fuck's going on? Why is...
This is about the. This is about the 3:50 run time. I'm not looking at the actual. I'm not looking at the actual time of day. Here, I'm looking at the run time, which is down the clock. So, Mr. Bates, can you pause it? Just to orient everybody, does this appear to be your dash cam?
Yes, sir.
Same dash cam you were looking at yesterday?
Yes.
Okay, let's go ahead and Mr. Bates. Officer Seraph, just like it's not an eye exam, it's not a hearing exam either. I'm going to do the best I can to raise the volume. And Officer Seraph, I want to focus your attention, if you wouldn't mind, on 9 seconds after you say what happened. Just count in your head and listen very, very carefully to the woman's voice and response. What she said. Very, very hard to hear. Have you listened to that before? Does it appear to you that she said, my boyfriend, I left him and he never came home?
I couldn't understand anything.
Okay. Let's replay it one more time. Turn the volume up one more time right at that moment. Listen for a woman's voice just under. Sorry, I was asking Officer Seraph, please listen to, there's a din of noise, obviously, road noise, wind noise, etc. It's your dash cam, the audio from your dash cam. Once you close the door, listen very carefully, about 9 seconds after you say what happened, or a woman's voice, and see if you can make out what that voice says. Sure. Stop. Did you hear? I left him and he never came home.
I couldn't understand it. So
You couldn't understand that?
no,
Do you want to hear it one more time?
No,
I don't think.
no. Turn the lights on, please.
Now, if my client had said, my boyfriend, I left him and he never came home, would that be something that you would find important to put in your report?
Objection.
Sustained.
Let's move to another area of the dash cam video. We'll keep playing it at the 28-minute mark, 28-minute, 20-second mark or so.
So can I see counsel sidebar for just a minute, please?
Hey, Matt.
recognize your dash cam video being on the left of the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you looked at Sergeant Wood's dash cam video, which is squared on the right side of the screen? You've never seen it? Okay.
You do.
Does it appear to you that these are two different perspectives of the same
Bacon, egg, cheese, and sausage croissant.
The SUV on the left side of the screen right here, correct?
Yes, sir.
See that same SUV
From Speedway.
right there, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does that appear to be two different perspectives, two different angles?
Yes.
But basically the same thing?
Yes.
Okay. I want to draw your attention to the individuals to the left of the SUV right here. There's a person wearing a hood with fur on it. Is that Kerry Roberts? Do you know?
I don't know.
There appears to be another person, a dark
There we go.
jacket, standing just in front of that person with the hood with fur. You see that person?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to focus on the person in the darker jacket.
Sure.
I believe, and the only reason I'm asking you to focus at this point is because I want to try to play this just once and see if you recognize what's depicted in the video.
Sure.
What I expect you may see is this person move out of sight behind the SUV, and then in the background there's an SUV parked in the driveway. Pay special attention to that portion of the SUV and see if you see that person in the dark jacket pass from right to left in front of that SUV as if they're going to a house. Swear. Have you seen the person in the dark jacket leave the view?
Yes.
Did she appear to go behind the SUV?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead. Let's stop here. And now I'm going to ask you to draw your attention to that car with snow on it. Pay special attention to that car as the film continues to run.
Oh, this is so good.
Here's the person.
I love me some Korean wings, man.
That toward the house.
There's a place in Ann Arbor that just does them. It's actually a Korean chicken shop. So good. But Wingstop, that's my favorite wing place. Oh yeah.
And see if you see that same person walking toward the house.
You guys end up playing poker last night?
Stop. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see. Oh, yeah. Yes. I saw the shadow, yes.
Right. Shadow yes. Walking toward the front of the house. That was Jennifer McCabe going into the house, wasn't it?
I have no idea.
Was it a person going into the house?
It was a person. Yes.
Did you give anybody any permission to go into the house?
No, not mine.
Would you think that a witness in a homicide scene? Ooh, I erased this. Thank you. Would you think that a witness at a homicide scene to go into a house to make contact with other witnesses?
I didn't know it was a homicide scene, sir.
If I could finish my question. Do you think it's appropriate for a witness at a potential homicide scene, an unconscious person scene, whatever crime scene,
Yes.
to make contact with other witnesses and begin discussing situation unsupervised?
Can you rephrase that question, sir?
Do you think that's an appropriate thing to have happen?
I have no answer for that, sir. I don't know what you're asking.
Officer Sheriff, when you go to a crime scene,
Yes, sir.
one of the first things that you want to do is secure the scene and separate witnesses so that interviews can be conducted, correct?
Sure.
You wouldn't want witnesses just cavorting together and getting their story straight, right?
Correct.
You'd want to avoid that at all costs, right?
Yes. Yes.
And why is that?
So they can't collaborate their story.
Yet, there was a person walking from the area where a body was found in the lawn of a house, walking into the house to make contact with other individuals, correct?
It appeared that way, yes.
Does that seem appropriate to you?
No.
First off. We talked a bit about what you did and didn't hear at the scene from my client. At any point when you were at that location, did you hear my client repeating the phrase, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him?
She said, I hit him? No, I didn't hear that.
You never heard her whisper it, yell it, say it, or otherwise?
Not that I recall.
If you had heard that statement, you likely would have written it down, wouldn't you? You likely would have reported that to the report the next day, wouldn't you?
Yes.
You likely would have mentioned it in your grand jury testimony, correct?
Yes.
And you did none of those things because you did not hear that statement, correct?
I do not hear that, no.
Sir, you were at 34 Fairview for more than an hour before you cleared the scene, right?
Yes, sir.
You were at the location of the body of John O'Keefe.
Yes.
In other words, you just didn't stay in your cruiser, you walked out to where John O'Keefe was.
No, I was in my cruiser at different times.
Must have been a bad question.
Okay.
You didn't just stay in your cruiser. At points, you got out of your cruiser, walked over, made contact with the women, and you were standing next to the body.
Yes.
And you were obviously looking around. You noticed some footprints.
Yes.
And you even noticed some lack of footprints.
That's correct.
So you were being observant at the area of the body.
Yes.
And the area adjacent to the body.
Yes.
You were looking for anything that might have been out of place?
Yes.
Anything of any evidentiary value, correct?
Yes.
You never saw or otherwise observed, located a single piece of taillight material, did you?
No.
You certainly didn't see 45 pieces of broken plastic or taillight material, did you?
No.
You never located or otherwise observed John O'Keefe's missing shoe?
No.
Or any other clothing of his?
I didn't. No.
Officer Schraff, did you ever think to look inside the house
No.
for that missing shoe?
No.
That never crossed your mind?
No.
You think that might have been a smart thing to do at the time?
Objection, Your Honor.
Rephrase the question.
Sure. Do you think that would have been appropriate protocol when dealing with a body laying on a lawn that is partially unclothed to look inside the house of the lawn?
No.
You didn't think that would have been an appropriate protocol?
No.
Did you or anybody else?
No.
Okay.
Obviously, you did not conduct a search of that house, did you?
Nope.
And you're aware that to this day, no law enforcement officer ever conducted a search of that house?
I'm not aware of that.
And just one more.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the cop is getting grilled. He's already been caught in making different statements. He came up with the "I did it" stuff months later. He never put it in his report.
You were asking questions and you were shown a dispatch log, is that correct?
That's correct.
And dispatch log, as far as the Kansas Police Department is concerned, are you aware of sort of how or when or who creates that?
Yes.
And can you explain to the jury sort of how that document sort of comes in?
So when a call comes in, an officer is at the desk. And
See how quick he is to answer? This is all rehearsed.
What they would do is dispatch, get people going to the scene, and get everybody rolling as far as
Prosecution is doing redirect now.
Police, whatever resources they need.
I'm definitely going to fire this up at work.
Type in.
I want to watch this.
Is, and who's going.
So fair to say it's more important to that's allocated to the scene, especially in the case of an emergency, which is partially 911, than to ensure that the dispatch time is right down to 7.
Absolutely.
Now,
No, it's probably me.
you were asked some questions about.
I haven't reset.
That you heard the defense.
The app hasn't reset though. Here, let me take it off of the Wi-Fi.
Specifically, some grand jury testimony from April 2022, which you indicated during that testimony that the defendant stated that you also testified yesterday along those same lines, correct?
Correct.
What you testified to before this jury, as far as your memory, is that accurate as to what happens on that scene, January 29, 2022?
Yes.
Now, prior to this call, did you know Kerry Roberts?
No.
Did you know Karen Reed?
No.
Did you know John O'Keefe?
No.
Did you know Jennifer McKay?
No.
Based on what you've seen as far as the dash camera, would you be able to differentiate between Jennifer McKay and Kerry Roberts from that dash camera?
No.
While you were on scene, did you see anybody from 34 Fairview Road from that address outside?
No.
Did you see anybody from any address on that entire street for the entire 90 minutes that you were there from outside?
No.
Now, you were asking questions about some different addresses on Fairview, whether they be 32 or 35. Do you know where either 32 or 35 is located in relation to 34?
We'll be next to each other in sequential order.
Nothing further.
Okay.
Nothing wrong. Thank you.
All right, you're all set, officer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Lally, who is your next witness?
You're on a call with the call officer Stephen Mullaney to the stand.
Okay.
Stephen Maloney.
Any better? It's running strictly off of the That's Karen Reed's dad. Yeah, I don't think Bao's going to be out there today. It's raining.
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear the evidence given in the court of the jury in the case now here should be true, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
You can stand or sit, sir, whatever is more comfortable. Just make sure you speak into the microphone, please. Hey, whenever you're ready, Mr. Lally.
Yeah. He said yesterday that the forecast looked like rain, and he didn't think he was going to go if it did.
Stephen Mullaney, U-L-L-A-N-E-Y.
And how are you employed, sir?
I am employed by the Canton Police Department as a patrolman.
How long have you been a patrolman for the Canton?
Since July 2020 and a full-time officer since August 2021.
And if I could call your attention to the evening of January 28th, 2022 into the morning of January 29th, 2022. You working on that occasion?
Yes, I was working the 11:45 p.m. to 7:45 a.m. patrol shift.
And you dispatched to a call shortly after 6 a.m. on the 20th.
Yes, I was.
And where were you dispatched to and what was that?
34 Fairview Road for a unresponsive party.
As far as when you're assigned as far as a patrolman, so the different sort of geographic sectors within the town to which you're assigned?
Yep, I was assigned to the east sector.
And it's Fairview Road within that east sector?
It's the west sector.
So you were assigned to the east sector, but dispatched to the call in the west sector?
Correct.
And why that was?
Yes, east. The east sector backs up the west sector.
Prior to this, on the 28th into the 29th,
Why don't you hold on a minute for me?
I don't know. Sirens outside the court.
So on the 28th, going into the 29th, what, if any, awareness do you have as far as the weather forecast.
I gotta find Tom's stream if Bao's not gonna do it.
I believe around midnight.
What's his name again? Tom what?
That's why you're on shift. Is that correct?
Yes.
I'm sure he's out
when
there.
You're on shift and you're on control, particularly when there's a weather situation as far as snow or something like that. What is it that you're doing on control?
Well, I stayed in the parking lot that shift, so didn't get stuck anywhere.
And as far as the snow that was predicted, the snow that fell, how much precipitation, what kind of storm was it?
Well, by the morning it was pretty heavy snow.
And by the morning, by what time?
About around 6 a.m.
By the time that you were dispatched to that call, we were talking about the snow was picking up and getting up.
Yes.
And as you were, so you were at the station when you received the dispatch, is that correct?
Correct, yes.
And where is, well, about how far away
Turtle Rider.
is Fairview Road from where you were at the station?
A mile and a half, 2 miles.
And can you start for the jury sort of the route that you took going from the station to Fairview Road?
Yep. I took a right onto Washington Street from the station, and then I took a right onto Dedham Street from Washington Street, a left onto Cedar Crest from Dedham, and then a left onto Fairview Road from Cedar Crest.
And so Fairview Road runs sort of between two other more major roads in Canada.
This is weird.
Yes.
You mentioned Cedar Crest, is that correct?
Yes.
How fucked up this road is.
Correct.
One of the oldest roads in the state, too.
Chapman Street.
So when you're coming from Cedar Crest on to...
Have a good one, Dirty. I will be on the desktop. If you want to pop in later. Be watching this trial.
Correct.
And in addition to yourself, if anyone else from your department was dispatched as well.
Officer Sarah.
And if anyone arrived first.
Officer Sarah had arrived prior to my arrival.
And Officer Sarah, as far as which direction was it? Was you facing the same as yours, directly at it, or something?
I don't know.
Officer Sarah, during your on this time, sort of between the station and arriving on the scene.
I do not.
Best pop.
Now, as far as when you're arriving from the station to see what kind of thing you're all about, sort of road conditions, visibility.
Visibility was difficult. I don't exactly recall how far you can see, but it was definitely coming down.
And at this point in time, on January 29th, just after 6 a.m., what is sort of the lighting conditions? Has the sun come up yet? Is it dark out?
It was still dark out.
And if you recall, sort of the vehicular traffic on the roadway between the station and your arrival at Fairview Road.
I don't recall there being any traffic.
Now, as far as when you are coming to the scene, do you recall whether or not you had to activate sort of the lights or the sirens or anything like that?
I believe I would have used the blue lights.
You recall using sirens?
I do not recall sirens.
Hey, Gregory.
If you know how much time elapsed between the time that you received the call and the time that you arrived?
3 minutes, approximately.
And when you arrived there, what, if anything, is the first thing that you see?
I saw Officer Sarah towards like the front lawn, kind of surrounding the victim. There's a couple other people as well. And the fire department was on arrival right about the same time.
And so, beyond yourself and Officer Sarah from the Canada Police, are there other sort of town assets dispatched to this call as well?
The fire department.
And when you say the fire department, how many sort of vehicles or what was their response as far as?
I believe they had a fire engine and ambulance.
And you recall if the fire ambulance and the ambulance came from sort of the same side as you from Cedar Crest, or did they come into the scene from the same from the opposite side as far as?
I think they had come down Chapman Street to Fairview, and they were facing towards Cedar Crest.
Now, so you arrive there, you see Officer Sheriff and from the fire Sheriff, correct?
Yes.
And you indicated that you saw a person on the ground. Is that correct?
Yes.
And just for clarity purposes, at some point subsequent to this, you were able to identify the person who was on the ground. Is that correct?
Yes.
That was John O'Keefe. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And where the other people that you indicated were there, where were they in relation to John?
I think I don't really recall where everybody was upon my arrival, but I think everyone was kind of like in the vicinity around the curb to the street.
Now, as far as when you're first arriving,
There's only about 10 minutes left of this drive, and then I'll set up the desktop quickly.
I
want to broadcast this.
I saw people around them.
Give commentary on it.
Before I saw the victim.
Man, I wish I would have gotten set up. I get stuck at the house dealing with something else.
I believe Officer Sheriff was still standing up. I don't recall anyone else.
So fair to say
That cross of that cop, they cut him up.
Near Mr. O'Keefe before you actually saw Mr. O'Keefe, right?
Yes.
Now, this particular area where you saw Officer Sarah standing up and Mr. O'Keefe on the ground, if any sort of additional ambient lighting did you observe in that area? Was there any street lights or anything like that around?
Not that I recall.
Now, in addition to Officer Sarah, at some point did you encounter some other individuals or civilian people on scene?
Yep. Miss Jen McCabe.
And in addition to Miss McCabe, were there any other female parties there?
Carrie Roberts.
And in addition to Miss Roberts, was there any other female parties there?
Yes, Miss Reed.
And just to be clear, you see Miss Reed in the courtroom today?
Yes.
You identified her as to where she's seated or not? Or was she wearing?
Black dress.
Yes, regular type of identification.
Yes.
Now, prior to this call, did you have any prior sort of familiarity with paramedic?
No.
John O'Keefe?
No.
Jennifer McCabe?
No.
Carrie Roberts?
No.
And when you arrive and you make those sort of initial observations, where is it that you go with anything?
Fire department began the life-saving measures, and at one point we were able to get him onto the stretcher, or onto a backboard, I believe it's called, and then onto a stretcher.
And what, if any, involvement did you have with that?
I assisted the fire department in placing him on the backboard and then helping get him onto the stretcher.
Now, as far as you mentioned that the where you came and located Mr. O'Keefe, you recall sort of what position his body was in when you first observed him?
He was lying face up, was back on the ground.
And you recall where he was in relation to the roadway?
Yeah, he was on the front lawn. So I didn't know exactly where the curb was, but I would think about, approximately 10 feet from the curb.
And so you mentioned that you couldn't tell exactly where the curb was. Why is it?
There was snow on the ground.
So the snow sort of covered the curb at that time that you're there, is that correct?
Yes.
But you approximated it's about 10 feet.
Yeah.
And the snow on the ground that you observed at the time when you first arrived, about how much snow had accumulated on the ground?
I'd say at that point approximately 6 inches.
And what, if any, snow did you observe on any part of Mr. O'Keefe's body first time?
There was really no snow, but you could tell that he had been in the conditions. It was almost as if it was like water, kind of like frozen on kind of to his face.
And did you make any observations, or was any observations that you make beyond his face as far as sort of the rest of his body?
I don't recall really any other observations.
Recall how he was dressed?
I do not.
Recall what, if any, snow was on any other part of him?
I do not.
Now, as far as Mr. O'Keefe, was concerned, what, if any, observations did you make as far as any injuries at that initial time?
I did not recall any injuries.
So nothing stood out to you, is that correct?
No, correct.
And you assist the fire department getting onto a back, correct?
Yes.
And where did Mr. O'Keefe go?
To the ambulance.
You go to the ambulance as well?
Not that I recall, no.
So fire department sort of takes over care of Mr. O'Keefe now?
Yes.
So after Mr. O'Keefe is lifted up, when he's lifted up, what, if anything, did you observe as far as the ground that had been underneath Mr. O'Keefe and where he was?
I didn't recall anything. Observe anything? No. No.
You recall even looking sort of in that area?
No, I think he was in front of me, so I wouldn't have seen what was under him.
And so after Mr. O'Keefe is taken by members of the fire department over to the ambulance, what is it that you do?
Officer Sarif, at that point we were trying to identify the victim, so I spoke to Ms. McCabe.
And without sort of anything that Ms. McCabe told you about, how long period of time did you talk to Ms. McCabe?
Approximately 2 minutes.
And who, if anyone else, did you speak with, attempting to gather information regarding this case?
Ms. McCabe is the only one I recall speaking to.
Now, as far as the defendant Mr. Reeves, did you, what, if anything, do you recall her sort of doing as you're on scene and as you're going about trying to...
She was screaming, is that my boyfriend? Is he dead?
When you say screaming, fairly loud, correct?
Very, very loud, yes.
What's up, Claiborne?
As far as
sorry,
that sort of phraseology,
paying attention to this trial thing. I'm gonna do a desktop stream at work and play this.
Repeat it many times.
I don't know how much we're gonna get before they go to lunch,
same
but
sort of volume that she gets at it with, as you described it.
Yes.
As far as, if you know, about how long was the ambulance on scene before it left to go to the hospital?
10 minutes, approximately.
Do you know what hospital it went to?
Good Samaritan.
And after the ambulance left and went to the hospital, where did the three women that you're talking about, the defendant, Ms. McCabe, Ms. Roberts, where did they?
I believe they left the scene.
So did you have any, or what conversation did you have with any of them calling?
None.
damn it,
Now,
what
as
is
far
that?
as the street defendant is concerned, what, if anything else, did you observe as far as her saying or her demeanor or anything?
Just the screams and she was very distraught.
Now, at some points, did Ms. Reed sort of stay in one place, or where did Ms. Reed go sort of around the ambulance home?
I believe she went into one of the vehicles. I don't know if it was a
So
cruiser
apparently
or
both
a
people, oh, great.
stable.
Both people that I have working over here at the mix plant where my office is have ended up in the hospital already this morning. Oh,
In the same general vicinity as the defendant.
you got them taped together?
I don't recall.
Now, at some point after they had left the scene, what, if anything, were you advised by your dispatch in regard to this?
We were dispatched that, or Can't Control had advised us that she's making suicidal statements.
And so based on that, what, if anything, did you or the other officers that you on scene?
I don't recall exactly who, but someone had called Ms. Roberts to have Ms. Reed come back to the scene, and we section 12 there.
And so about how much time elapsed between the time that you learned that from dispatch and the time that Ms. Reed arrived back on scene as well?
5 minutes, approximately.
Now, you mentioned that there may have been other officers.
Yes.
In addition to yourself and Officer Sarif, if anyone else from your department arrived on scene,
Sergeant Good.
It's a high-speed rail, though. It goes through fast.
Sergeant Link at the time, and Lieutenant Gallagher.
And when was that in relation to when yourself and Officer Sarah arrived on scene?
Sergeant Good was there shortly after, and then Sergeant Link shortly after him, and then Lieutenant Gallagher after that.
And in total, as far as sort of the earliest to the longest, about how long was it until Lieutenant Gallagher arrived on scene?
I would say less than 45 minutes.
And in total, how long was it that you were on scene?
90 minutes to 2 hours.
During the course of time that you were on scene, at some point did the sun come up?
Yes.
And during the time that you were on scene, as far as the conditions, and let me ask just a little bit more about things. You indicated something about
what's that mean?
on the ground and not being able to see the turn, correct?
Yes.
What, if any, sort of other things and conditions?
I mean, they're always
from a weather perspective. What was the
changing, I
temperature
guess.
like out at that time?
It was very cold. It's cold.
Could you, or do you have any estimate as to far as
Most of them run on diesel fuel.
25, and it was windy.
And when you say
What was
windy,
that?
you expound upon that as far as like what kind of wind? Are we talking constant wind, gusts, or something?
I would say gust to constant.
And fairly strong winds, light winds, what kind of?
Not necessarily strong, light winds, but it was definitely windy.
And during that sort of total time, about 90 minutes or so that you were on scene, was the weather consistent throughout the entire period that you were on scene?
That I recall, yes.
Now, in the area where you first observed Mr.
All right, guys, I'm gonna try and get the desktop stream set up soon because I want to watch this. So, see you in a bit. Thanks for riding with me. Peace.